Welcome one and all, finally, I will admit, to the long-awaited Crusader Kings 3 Tours and Tournaments series. Apologies for the delay. I know I said I was going to do it tomorrow when I did that sponsored video for Paradox like last week, but I was waiting on quite a few mods to update. I didn't want to update midway through and potentially break things, so I thought a little bit more patience for a better experience, and I'm glad we did because here we are. Now, if this is the first time you're joining me for Crusader Kings 3, I like to play the characters as they appear. I like to play them based on the decisions they would make themselves, on their traits, on their motivations, on their dynasty, that type of thing, rather than metagaming the whole thing and min-maxing, though that can be impressive, isn't really what I do here. I don't go full roleplay with it, though. I'm not going to send it with voices and other such things. So, the plan for this playthrough, we're going to be a little bit just playing tours and tournaments, because it's an amazing DLC. I think it's the best one they've released for Crusader Kings 3 so far. It's going to be a little bit of history for those nerds of you out there, and it's also going to be a little bit of a callback to one of my favorite characters, probably the character that I originally did the kind of role-playing character with, and that being Brother Baguette. So let's dive in. That was 4 years ago, by the way, for those of you who've been around that long. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're still here, and I don't know how you're still here. So you might have guessed, Brother Baguette is based in France, or at least in the original series he was. All the way up here in Vermandois is the final member of House Karling, the historical dynasty that built the Carolingian Empire. Charlemagne, you've heard of him. This guy is the final surviving Karling, of the actual Karling dynasty, by the way. There are other sub-houses and things like that, but this guy is the last of that original line, and we're going to go ahead and ruin him by renaming him to Brother Baguette. Now, you're probably thinking, are you going to, if you have watched that last series, are you going to use the original character? And yes, I am. I'm going to base it on the Crusader Kings 2 character, so I've kind of remade him as much as I could in CK3, and I think I did a pretty alright job given the engine differences, but the big difference is going to be in the original playthrough in CK3, I absolutely sent it, and I gave this guy genius, strong, attractive, all of the very powerful traits. We're going to keep it a little bit more balanced, a little bit more down to earth, because I think it makes a better story. Overcoming adversity is a lot better than being the best like no one ever was. So, we're going to start with something that gives me open-ended plays for the character, right? I like playing the characters as they're written, as they appear in game. We're going to go with Brave to allow us to make our big swath of decisions. We're going to go with Ambitious, because I think we have to be ambitious with this guy, right? He's the final of a legendary dynasty. We probably want to try and claw that back. And you know what? I'm going to go with Zealous, not for any particular reason other than an homage to the previous Brother Baguette, which you might be guessing by his name, and no pressure here for the rest of the series. By episode 2, the guy was a saint, so we've really got our work cut out for us here. I'm going to bump his stats a little bit, because he was slightly better in the original one, and I don't think prowess was a stat in CK2 when we, at that point at least, when we played it, so we're just going to go with that. And there he is, Brother Baguette. Perfect. And I know what you're thinking. Hold on a second. This guy's not going to be a Karling. He's a custom character. Well, very impressively, I was putting together my own mod to solve this problem, but then someone beat me to it by genuinely 20 minutes. There is a mod that was released on the workshop that allows you to join another character's dynasty. And it just so happens that last guy who held this title before we stole it from him is still around. And more importantly, we can make him our brother. He's our older brother, so why we took the realm, I'm not sure. Maybe he was disgraced for some reason or another. But here we are, Baguette Karling. A 4-year callback, a 4-year sequel in the making. Of course, if you want to play along, I made the mod list and everything available down in the description. You can directly load in a mod list using the Crusader Kings 3 launcher, which is very helpful. You haven't got to worry about load order or anything like that. It's fairly straightforward. It's like a 40 mod list, but the majority of that are graphical changes. Things that make like the text bigger, for example, so that it's a bit more readable for those of you watching on smaller devices and stuff like that. But it's very simple. There aren't many big sweeping gameplay changes. We've got the incredible community flavor pack. That's a character's goal and motivation, and I think it's obvious, isn't it? We've got to try and rebuild that Carolingian Empire. Maybe if we go to the Holy Roman Empire and go to title history, you might be able to see him all the way back. There he is, 25th of December, 800. Karl the Great, the big man himself, great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, sat there just in the shadows, completely forgotten. The whole dynasty is dwindled out. Our particular branch of House Karling, you can see these are all the cadet dynasties. So they're all kind of Bernard Karling, Jerome Karling, etc., etc. The final House Karling, our house, is just 7 members. And all 7 members are either our character's brother, and their brothers, and their siblings. And that's it. That's the final one. So we are the final landed true Karling. So let's see what we can do with it. Now, I think first things first then, I did pick for the original character Elusive Shadow, and I thought that's a nice thing to bring back here, because one of the mods I've added into this particular setup is more schemes, and I want to see what we can do with that. They let you do things like incite rebellions amongst vassals, which we can use to our advantage quite well, I hope. And I haven't really got to play a proper intrigue character vying for the throne recently. Granted, I've only done 2 CK3 playthroughs in the last 2 years, so I got to catch up with the base game stuff a little bit here. So, I think first things first, let's do a little Skulduggery. Schemes, subversion, and secrets. I like this idea. Let's build our way back up. Truth is relative. Lets us fabricate hooks on people, so we could do that on our liege and maybe try and get a little bit of leeway that way. Find secrets may also fabricate hooks. That's always good, isn't it? Seducer could be pretty good, to be fair. Fertility, 30%. Try and get the dynasty a little bit more strengthened, given that, you know, those brothers and those brothers' children could all die out completely unlanded, complete nobody, so we've got to be careful with things a little bit. Go down Torturer. I don't know that we would. You see, I went for Zealous with the guy, because the original character became a saint just kind of incidentally, so I'm pigeonholing him a little bit, I will admit, but I don't think Torturer suits him. Let's do it. A Schemer, arguably, doesn't really suit him either, but if he's doing it for maybe what he believes is the good of the realm, the good of the church, if he's going to be a better, more pious ruler than the person in charge, and he does it legally, or at least not so much that he gets himself executed, why not, huh? Truth is relative, then. Get fabricate hook schemes and find secrets may fabricate hooks. Find secrets progress speed up by 25% with digging for dirt. Disrupt schemes or swift execution. I don't think we want to murder anybody yet. That's jumping into a pit which is hard to come back from. Kidnapper, though. Kidnap people just to elevate our own position. You can be zealous and still a terrible person. Let's not try and discount that, eh? Enables the abduct scheme. I think I've got to go for it, haven't I? All right, I'm in. Let's give it a go, then. How on earth are we going to climb the ranks here? Our immediate legion. So actually, there's the Duchy of Valois, I think it is. Yeah, so the Duchy of Valois currently does not exist because that is part of Paris, right? So that's our liege's direct realm. But I think we would be able to create it ourselves with the kind of scraps that are left over. If we take, say, like, Beaumont. Oh, that's under King Philippe, so we probably don't want to do that. But if we take Amiens, Clermont, and Valois, we should be able to make that duchy ourselves, because I think we control way over 50% at that point, right? One of the 4 required counties. So if we can grab these quickly, we can make ourselves the Duke of Valois. That gives us quite a lot of power. And the only other people we'd have to really compete for that are these other counts, same level as us. So a little bit of clever army management. That's not going to happen, I'll be honest. Don't get your hopes up there. We could probably do something. So let's have a look then. Who are we going to marry? Now, first things first, look. We really should be marrying for alliance when we're this small. We could try and get an alliance with the House of Normandy. Oh shit, that would be pretty enormous. Okay. Bear in mind this is 1066, so her dad right now is only a duke, but is potentially just about to become the King of England. That would be a massive alliance, huh? She is 9, so we'd be waiting quite a while. What if we go for like a grand wedding? Actually really does nothing for our alliance power, because we're already pretty respectable, I suppose, being from House Karling. It's a pretty good marriage. We could try and go for the slow start. You know, the dynasty building. We could focus on somebody who's maybe genius or strong and try and breed that into the dynasty. This is a golden opportunity, though, isn't it? Vastly superior. We're potentially getting the backing of 7,000 troops and a million more on the way. I think I've got to do it. And he'll accept that happily. So, you know what? God damn it. I'm in. Did she get more prestige for that than we did? I suppose he is only a duke after all, and we're a member of House Karling. Fair enough, huh? Let's take a look around our court. Now, this time around, to add a little bit of interest and characters that we can keep track of a little bit easier so they don't get lost awash kind of medieval French names, I'll rename counselors and vassals over the kind of patrons of the channel. Viewers, people who leave particularly helpful comments might find themselves on the council. Because, I mean, why not? You give me good advice, right? So let's throw you in there. Bishop, you seem to be stood in limbo there. I don't know why he hasn't got a background. Oh, the Jesus shirt. I bought one of those in real life. It's not really something I'd wear outside, I'll be honest with you. Chancellor Adrian, you are terrible. He's got 2 diplomacy and he's shy. I couldn't think of a better candidate for our freaking counselor. A chancellor, even. Steward's pretty good. What's a spy master like? Oh, she is good. But it's our brother's wife, which you can already see some problems with that, I'm sure. She doesn't really like us that much, and our brother is our heir. Our dynasty unlocked House of Warriors. Oh, shit. We're not dynasty head because our brother's older than us. Maybe history repeats itself. Charlemagne and Carloman fighting over the Frankish throne. Maybe this could be our kind of, again, history repeating itself. Maybe we have to kill our brother to assure that he's not a threat to our succession. Not very zealous, is it? But if we view him as a lustful sinner, a heathen, maybe we're just doing the Lord's work. Maybe I could be convinced to do that. We don't particularly hate him, though. We don't really like him, but we don't hate him. But his wife, she's got to go. Brother, I'm firing your wife from the council. This could be the start of some dynasty friction, which is understandable, really. She's gone. I'm sorry, I can't keep her on board. That was also a marshal, so that did cost us a little bit, and unfortunately the rest of our court are also already assigned. Let's deal with all the boring stuff. So court position, absolutely. Really, your aptitude is poor. That's kind of a surprise, given that you've got 21 learning. He'll learn on the job. They can get the physician trait as they hang around there, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to keep you on board. Okay, fine. I don't really want anything else. We haven't got artifacts or a need for a caravan master or court juice or anything like that yet. Eventually, of course, when we become a duke, maybe then we'll do a tour of our new domain, and maybe then we'll need a caravan master, but not for now. We can create an accolade. This is a fun system. I like this a lot. We're going to skip it for now. I already know how this works. Do we even want to do anything? Do I want to give an accolade for Adrian? You know what? I think we'll reserve these specifically for the role-playing purposes. If there's a knight on the battlefield who wins us a key battle or something like that, maybe then they get given a nice title. But for the time being, we're going to leave a blank one. It's up for grabs. Maybe make them fight a little harder. If we station our man-at-arms in... Why not? We might as well stick him in Vermandois, give him a little bit of a benefit, right? There you go. Fine. Actually, that's a pretty significant benefit too, so we'll keep those there. I think everything else is pretty fine. Again, we're not probably going to go to war for a while, I'd imagine. Probably going to have to fabricate some claims. We'll just see what we've got. Yeah, nothing. No casus belli. So I guess then, first things first, let's get the bishop. The bishop doesn't really like us, so I think we're going to try and win him over a little bit. And then I'd like to throw him... Honestly, I think Valois is the best of all these counties, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, actually, no. Oh, there's the wrong duchy, genius. It is our duchy capital, though, if we do want to make that. We can build something in the temple holding. Oh! Hello there. One of the mods adds a bunch of special new buildings. I think there's something like 1,000 new buildings, which is absolutely nuts. Oh, that's cool that we have a unique cathedral we can build here. Something to save it for the future. Hey, maybe that's following in the footsteps of that playthrough from 4 years ago, right? Building an amazing cathedral. That'd be quite nice. I'd be happy with that one. I'm not going to do that for every character, of course, but... How are we looking then? He's got 2 counties, so he's definitely our biggest threat. I think then the safest thing is to go for this county here. Fabricate claims on that one. It's going to take 14 months, so we can build up a power in the meantime. I think this one's probably a safe bet, right? 371. How many troops have we got? 361. If we can track down like a good commander, bring them over, fabricate a hook on them and bring them to court or something like that. That would give us, I think, all we need to really take the first county. That gives us a foot in the door. Then we can grab the other 2, no problem. Let's give it a go. We've got our first activity, hosting a grand tournament. I'm going to save the cash, thank you. Not that we can afford it anyway. We could throw ourselves into shitloads of debt. I think we're going to hold off for the time being. Feasts, hunts, pilgrimages. Pilgrimage, arguably. I said I was going to play the character, right? That's the modus operandi for this channel. Always play the character. Let's do it. And you know what? This pilgrimage might set the tone for the rest of this character's life. If he's got all these big plans, the brave, ambitious Count Baguette wants to restore his dynasty and cast down the sinners. If this goes well, we can take that as a good sign, I think. Some event options will allow especially pious actions. Of course, brand new pilgrimage screen from Tours and Tournaments. Worldly pilgrimage is more going out there seeing the world, you know, multicultural modifiers, sightseeing actions, things like that. But we're doing this purely for the piety. This guy is a legitimate, genuine devotee to his faith. It's not just a show. So let's do it. Pious pilgrimage it is. Where do you want to go then? Do you want to go Canterbury, Cologne, Santiago, Vatican, or Jerusalem? I imagine Jerusalem's very expensive, right? That is... only 90 gold, though, to be fair. There is a lot of danger on this route. So, as you can see, every sea tile is going to add an enormous amount of danger unless we hire ourselves a captain. Would this guy be willing to sink the realm into a lot of debt to pay for a pilgrimage to Jerusalem? I mean, it's such an enormous flex. It would be amazing if we could pull this off. All right, you know what? Let's give it a go, then. Adelaide de Ramarupt. Great name. Sounds like a Pokemon. I am going to make you Caravan Master, I suppose. It's either that or my sister-in-law, and I feel like the ship would sink before we even get anywhere. I think we'll go with you then. Fine. Salary when the travel starts is 2 gold a month. We can afford that one. Travel options then. Experienced captains would drop the sea danger down to, honestly, a point of it being almost irrelevant. For the 5 gold, I mean, look at that. It's almost a safe journey there now. I feel like I have to go with the captains. Then we could go for mercenary guards. It's 10 gold, but we'd only be in debt for a little while, and I think it might be worth it. I mean, we're breaking even perfectly right now. What do you think? Cultural ambassadors. Be recruited to my entourage. That could be quite handy. I'm going to go with the mercenary guards. Get a little bit more speed, a little bit more safety. I think that's definitely worth it. 1% chance of danger. Yeah, look at this. We're going to be totally safe on the whole bloody journey with that. And I think that's absolutely the right way to go about it. And then when we get to Jerusalem proper, then it's a 21% chance of danger. But I think we'll be totally fine. I think this is the right way to go about it. I'm not going to change the route at all. I think let's just see what the game has thrown at us. We can visit certain places and go to, obviously, other realms if we want to, but I'm happy with that. What's the intent of this journey? Well, obviously, we've got to go zealotry, right? Let's have a look, though. Reflection. We've adopted a mindful approach to your journey. We'll be looking for opportunities to relieve stress. I'm going to worry about that. Altruism. Honestly, is kind of a nice middle ground, really. Seek to improve the lives of others and take on altruistic actions. Leads to an increase in popular opinion and piety. Zealous, generous, and improvident characters may also lose stress. Or we go full on zealotry. Share our conviction with others. You know what? Though that's good, it's not very humble, is it? And humility is a virtue, so I'm going to go with the altruism aspect. Let's head out there. I'm happy with that. Do we want to go for anything else? Fidelity here. So we can go for different speeds, but that one needs mandatory pilgrimage doctrine, and that one needs patient. So you know what? We're just going to go with a regular casual journey, and then pomp. Honestly, we could drop the pomp down. That'll save us 10 gold. And the danger will probably not change whatsoever, because this is a commonly traveled route. We've got experienced captains, mercenary guards. And again, we should be a bit more... We should be a bit more humble, I think. So I'm happy with that. Let's go for it. And then look at that. We're breaking even, too. So that I think is the most sensible option. Let's head out there. Marguerite has been recruited to the travel entourage. Is she our captain, then, do you think? Forder. I think that's got to be her. Then Captain Hyde. Yes, it does say right there. Oh, hang on. That was the regular captain. Now we've got our mercenary captain. Look at that hat. You know what? On the subject of hat... Oh, never mind. I was going to say there's something I've forgotten, because the original Brother La Baguette had an amazing, giant, pointy, green hat. And I wanted to go for it. It made him look like the adoring fan from Oblivion. But you know what? I like that a lot. That's a good look. Let's go. I don't think there's anything else we need to do back in court, right? We can just head out now. Let me see. Again, we haven't got counselors, but forget it. Forget it. This is for God, not for the realm. All the while preparing for the journey, I had this sense of serenity, knowing that everything would be alright. I'm pleased to embark on this pilgrimage to Jerusalem in order to get even closer to God, and now more than ever I feel certain that he will watch over me on my travels. I can't wait. It's going to take us 11 months, which puts us in a pretty good place for when, in theory, we should get that claim fabrication. We've added 3 potential pilgrims to our pilgrimage to Jerusalem. I can't wait. I can't wait, sure. However, we've entered into a regency. So we are now sharing power with Mayor Valoran of Rusi. Do we trust him? He's a pretty good guy, actually. He's forgiving, he's temperate, and he's patient. He's a godly man. He's a godly, trustworthy man, and I'm happy to have him on board. You know what? I might even go ahead and mark him as special interest, because he seems like the type of guy we could be very friendly with. So I'm going to pin him. We can spar with him. Oh, that's interesting, because he's a knight. I think we'll try and win him over when we get back. We've got to try and, make friends with the court priest first and convince him that we're genuine in our intentions. Roland is one of the stranger people I've met on the journey. He seems to be a firm believer, but also expounds on the true nature of God and what it means. At night, his tent is lit up by candles within, and occasionally strange chanting and unusual incense flows from within it. I am wholly unprepared when Roland bids me to enter. That would delay us by 3 months. Oh, Lord. Strange chanting, unusual incense for a zealous man. That's not right, though, is it? No, thank you. This all smells of heresy to me. Your pilgrim becomes more pious. Very nice. We also gain 100 piety, and we're impressing Flavio Werner, who I presume is one of the pilgrims on our journey with us as well, then. Let's have a look. Who are you, then, who have joined us? Your suffragan bishop. Oh, and a court physician. Oh, that's cool. That's a guy that we're swaying, then. Fair enough. No, thank you. This does all smell of heresy to me. We're just about to begin. There we go. Crossing by Italy, down past the papacy. This is going to be a pretty uneventful journey by the looks of it. Ah, regent swings the scales of power against me. Interesting. So during power sharing, the balance of power between the liege and their diarch is measured on the scales of power. As the scales tip towards the diarch, they unlock borrowed powers and may add costs to the liege's mundane actions. As they tip towards the liege, it will make it easier for us to end the power sharing. Interesting. And this is all in this new interface down here. That's unfortunate. I thought this guy would be a nice guy, but he's being a bit of a dick then. Okay. Fill coffers, swell armies, or promote authority. Interesting. These are basically what we can demand that this guy does while we are away. So promote authority, crown opinion, councillor opinion, fill coffers, his gold, free domain development, etc., etc. I think I want the coffers? No, let's go promote authority while we're not there. We've got to make sure that they know who's in charge. Right now we're at level 1 on the scales of power. The effects are pretty straightforward, right? They can try and embezzle gold from us, which is very much a standard CK2 thing to do. But at any time, we can end the regency. As that increases, say, for example, you become an infirm character, they can entrench the regency and basically become the almost like a shadow ruler in their stead. That might be something fun that we can try and do when we get to that level of Duke. Maybe try and become regent for the King of France. That would be kind of impressive. Maybe when a child ruler takes the throne instead. We can swing the scales. That will fire an event where we can try and drop it back, but we don't need to worry about that right now, so I'm not too bothered. This is interesting. See, a lot of our court doesn't really like us. They're all self-interested, though, and some are situational, so it's probably not anything we have to worry about. I think we can ignore it for the time being. You are ignoring your mandate duties, though. Well... look, we're not worried about that too much. I'm here to go on this pilgrimage. I've got one sole focus. Whatever happens back at home, we've forgotten about that. That's not part of our mindset right now. Greetings, Count Baguette of Vermandois. I've prowled through the documents, both ancient and of less certain provenance. I've finally enough material to make your case that you are the rightful lord of the County of Clermont. Amazing. It's 54 gold. It would swing us into debt, which, of course, during a regency could be a dangerous thing to deal with. Lose or fabricate claim process. Honestly, I'm happy to do it. I think I'm happy to hold off for a little while. When we arrived in Jerusalem, here we are. No other city in the world has a history quite like Jerusalem. In addition to the many other holy sites there, the church contains the city contains the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built over combined places where Jesus was crucified, buried, and resurrected. I've walked the holy path, so we immediately gain the pilgrim trait. Everybody who joined us become pilgrims as well, and we lose all stress because, of course, we're zealous. Now, I believe this one is another one of the tiered traits, isn't it, pilgrim? Yeah, so you can see at the bottom there, pilgrim trait path. We can go up to level... Well, firstly, we're level 0. We're just about to gain level 1. And then at level 2, learning piety, zealous vassal opinion up by 20. That's pretty good. And, of course, get all the benefits from the last one, too, as it says there. That would be really nice. Very expensive, but, of course, worth it for our guy. Monthly piety is up there. Travel speed, safety, everything. Makes the next pilgrim even faster. Thank you. Piousness achieved only level 1. So what happens when we go all the way to the top, then? So we gain double the piety we would have gained from the whole pilgrimage. Perfect pilgrimage tier 4. Man, if I could do that, that would be such a great start for this character. That's like bang on for what I want to do then. Fair enough. We can see the people who have joined us. We've got Adelaide, of course, and then the bishop has joined us as well. Activity log. And we can see everything we've done so far. Right. I didn't know if it would show maybe what we've got planned or what we've got coming up there. Spending time in solitary prayer, but we have already gained a level of devotion too. We've observed a good omen while we were there. Keep things on speed 3 just so that we can actually see what the hell's going on rather than blasting it through. You tended to other travelers in Jerusalem. Is this increasing my piousness? I bloody hope it is. Because it should be. You afforded charity for the poor of Jerusalem. As our time at this sacred site draws to an end, I am slightly concerned that I did not get a chance to prove my devoutness to God as much as I'd have liked. It's been my first pilgrimage. While no pilgrimage is exactly alike, I feel confident that I'm more familiar with what to expect from this type of journey in the future. Well, we did not get any piousness whatsoever. Absolutely none at all. I'm surprised we didn't get any events from that, though, but fair enough. We could... Man, that'd be kind of a cool final goal for this particular character. Do like a mega pilgrimage. I don't know if we're allowed to do this, whether we could set a route going Canterbury, Jerusalem, Vatican, etc., etc. Might be kind of nuts. But I think we have to pick, obviously, a destination goal, but we could mess around with it, see what we can do with that. We're getting to determine pilgrim for 10 years, because we have the armed pilgrimage's tenant. That's pretty good. 2% monthly piety per night. Got to hire some more bloody nights now, aren't I? Amazing. And that's it. Pilgrimage is over. We afforded charity for the poor of Jerusalem, and we were absolutely unpious whatsoever. It would be a little bit foolhardy to presume we're going to be immediately pious as level 4, right, heading out there. And now for the long journey home. No benefits this time, just all danger all the way. But of course, there's, barely any bloody danger at this point, given the amount of money I spent on this damn thing. And speaking of which, since leaving home nearly a year ago, I've seen highs and lows, reveled in the wind, blowing through my hair and lamented at the rocks in my boots. There are so many places, so many things I've yet to see out there on the open road. I feel free of the stuffy castle, if only for a little while. The roads are full of pilgrims and wanderers, perhaps among them I will find peace of mind. We gain the trade traveler. Very nice. Does that do anything useful for us while we're here? Not really. We're going to need a lot more before we get wanderer or seasoned, both of which give, I think they give like negatives to the travel costs and things like that, right? Sorry, I'm used to middle mouse cut locking these windows, so I keep panning over too quickly. Yeah. Travel safety, travel companion opinion. You get stewardship and prowess from that one, and then wanderer gives us health small boost travel speed. And then this one, tier 2. Travel speed 10% down. That's really good, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. Out here, I'm truly free. Very good. Are we going to do many journeys? Are we going to do much traveling outside of pilgrimages? I'll try and fit in as much as possible, but only what is, of course, sensible for the character, right? And a new perk as well. We learned 1 or 2 things on the road out there. My journey's been a long one, but I've finally come home again. While much remains the same, something has changed in how the priests and bishops treat me. I've only gone the journey of a holy man, and they insist it's changed something about me, whether I can see it in myself or not. Oh, Lord. What's happening here, then? Count Geoffrey of Anjou has decided to attack, I presume in rebellion, the throne. Very good. War against the tyranny of King Philippe. Right, so Philippe obviously tried to imprison him or something like that. Nothing that I care about, nor I'm going to get involved with. So, how do we want to begin going about things? It does seem a little bit weird that we would go into swift execution with this character, even though it would absolutely be the right play to go for, right? We assassinate the guy whose realm we're trying to get a claim on, get a child on the throne so it's weakened, there's a regency, there's no bonuses coming from the ruler, etc., etc. We move in, it's going to be a much easier war. Simultaneously, a guy who's just tried to prove his dedication to God by going on a bloody 11-month pilgrimage and then coming back and slashing a man is probably not the best way to go about it. I do like the idea of weeds in the garden. 30% fertility. Ooh. Torturer doesn't necessarily equate to evil. For example, if he's doing kind of Inquisition work and torturing what he believes are heretics and Satanists and things like that, maybe in his mind that's totally acceptable, and that's what we're trying to do, right? It's not how we judge him, it's how he sees himself. Let's go weeds in a garden for the time being for that extra fertility, because we do need to be a bit more acutely aware of his brother, and more specifically his brother's wife, who's going to be breathing down our neck right now, so we've got to be careful of that one. Don't want to be assassinated too soon. My regency has ended. The mayor gained 150 piety. Honestly, I'd be happy to try and win him over a bit. I think we will, once we're done with the bishop, once I'm happy that the bishop likes us and tolerates us, I mean, or he's already endorsing us, so we could stop now. I think trying to win this guy over, our steward, would be a good idea for if we're ever in a regency again. Something to worry about later on. 54 gold for the county. I think it was 54 gold before, actually, wasn't it? We've got 30 gold right now, in debt for a couple of months. I say a couple of months, it would be a long time. Let's hold off still. You know what? I'm going to be patient about it. I'm not just going to dive in. Oh! An enemy found us on the battlefield. Oh my god, have we been... Well, we made a commander. Interesting. That explains why we've got bloody armor on, because our liege is at war. Right. Okay, here we go then. So we've got 15 prowess. This guy's got 4. Oh my god, I didn't realize we got home and we were immediately drafted. I should have been more suspicious about the fact that he swapped his fancy hat for a helmet. Mayor Payne and I stalk around each other weighing our options. He hefts a fearsome sword while I grip on my own sword tightly. The deadly weapon feels cool and weighty in my grasp. He'll never see it coming, strike, parry, riposte, or we shout, "For the Lord and St. George, suffer, blasphemer!" You shout a prayer and humble yourself before God. We gain 10 piety, but it will also have a low increase to our likelihood of success. But we are brave. Oh, damn. Would he just go straight for the fist fight, or would he... You know what? Shout at him. Shout at this man. God is wise, and his wrath is on my side. I shout my devotion to the heavens, that Paean might tremble in fear before my faith. May Paean of le flèche, I have no idea. Screams my opponent, whirling his sword furiously at, around, and near me. My form is good, with only small errors, and his stance is failing. You have to leave your guard down eventually, coward. Get him. Picking my moments carefully, I make several quick strikes, knocking him this way and that, slowly widening his guard. He tries hesitantly to launch a quick slash at me, but the blow is easily swatted away. My form is good with only small errors, but he is a disaster. Yes. We've got a blow from the sword and a kick to the gut. We're going to put the boot in him. Oh. Oh, Mayor Pain. Let's worry about the end of the battle first. Putting the boot in is low, but it works. Brashly, Pain hurtles at me, sword hung slack, clearly trying to give me a vigorous skulking. With a nary a second thought, I ram my knee into his belly and the idiot crumples. A few vicious kicks and my sword pressing into his spine to convince him to yield. I am victorious. Great, amazing work. You have overcome Mayor Pain. His resistance is broken. His fate is in your hands. Go and find your fate in God's hands. We lose Dread. We're going to let him go. But the mayor is indebted to us. We say, you're coming with me. We're going to capture him in battle. Or, no mercy for the vanquished and we kill him dead. No. Everything this man has to do, as far as I'm concerned, should be about God. You might say there was some divine intervention that got him in the throne in the first place, given that he shouldn't even exist. So you know what? I feel like he would be pretty thankful, to say the least. Let's do it. Go find your fate in God's hands. My liege is going to be pissed that I just beat the shit out of one of our enemies and then let him go. Oh. Now, our dynasty head is Duke Gottfried. So, the dynasty head is different to the house head, right? So, the dynasty head is going to be whoever's the most powerful man from all the houses, including the cadet branches. Our house head right now is Baguette Karling, simply because he's older. Herbert. Sorry, let's call him Herbert Karling. We're just going to have to wait for him to die, or potentially bump him off. But when he dies, it will default to, obviously, my character. It'll default to Brother Baguette and then all of his descendants instead of this little weirdo. This little weirdo. I'm hoping he disappears sooner rather than later, but I'm not going to take direct action against him. 72 opinion. Good job, Bishop. We need a bit more cash. How do we get cash? We could go for golden obligations, right? We've already got the scheming in place. Demand payment for hooks. Blackmail doesn't seem particularly Christian. Doesn't seem like a particularly godly thing to do, but we are going to be struggling for any sort of momentum otherwise. And to be honest, we've got to act fast. Because if this guy suddenly decides that my county looks nice and Clermont looks nice and he becomes the Duke, could be in a bit of trouble. I don't think he will pursue that because he's obviously not the Duke. He just has a couple of counties. Even so, I think we'll treat it kind of carefully. Let's just be cautious. I'm not going to be too... I'm not going to be throwing cash around, let's put it that way. Both Count Raoul of Berry and I are held in esteem by our liege King Philippe. Does King Philippe like us? No. +5. We absolutely hate King Philippe. He's arbitrary, ambitious. He's only been king for a very small amount of time, so he still has to prove himself. He's not the rightful liege. Oh, interesting. He's craven, whereas, of course, we're brave. And that gives another negative on top of that. Oh, he's just a shit king all around, really, isn't he? A craven, a cowardly, arbitrary man. Fair enough. Shall we try and smooth talk the king? As a diplomacy challenge against Count Raoul, 65% chance that we become friendly with the king and he gains 30 opinion of us. We also get a weak hook from the king. Oh my god, and 150 prestige. We could, however, illustrate that God already favors us. Look, I'm sorry to do it. It's a lower chance because the highest success chance always comes at the top, if I remember correctly. But we would never say, oh, you know, smooth talk the king. We would obviously illustrate that God favors us. We defeated a man on the battlefield with the power of God. We've gone on a pilgrimage where we were completely unharmed, smooth sailing the entire way there, literally. I think we go for it. The king is more impressed with Raoul. Shit! Come on, God! What are you doing? For God's sake, man. I've prowled through documents, both ancient and of less certain provenance. Oh, really? Again? Yeah, you know what? We can afford it this time. We can afford it this time. A couple of months, that debt will be paid off in no time. And the liege, unsurprisingly, won his war. Have we got anyone on court yet? I need to invite some new courtiers, don't I? We can pay homage to the king. I mean, look, the king is being crowned rightfully in the eyes of God, so I think we should... actually, has he been coronated? I think we should pay homage to king. And I think, you know what, we'll absolutely do that. So let's go with... Oh, what's the other option then? Oh, petition the liege. Right, of course, yeah, sorry. Choose an homage gift. I would like to demonstrate submission and give them nothing. Promise a favor. Increase obligations. You will receive greater taxes or levies from me. I'm not doing that. Bestow gifts with gold. No, I'm just going to demonstrate my submission. Because he is secondary to God, of course. So we're not going to promise him anything, and I'm not going to give him any obligations. We were already obligated to someone else, the big man upstairs. Let's pay homage. And we have to travel over. Oh, it's very expensive. All right, you know what? Let's save up some money. Then maybe I'll pay homage after that. Thank you. Thank you for refunding me. That's quite nice. Thank you. I completely forgot. It's going to take a while for the tours and tournament system to get into my head, okay? It's going to be a little while. We can petition him. What can I even petition him for? Try and get a council appointment, pay off a debt, grant a claim. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Transfer claims. We really can't do anything. Resettle his subjects to my capital to increase development. We still have to travel over, of course, so I'm not even going to bother. You know what? Forget it. We're just gonna bide our time. We're gonna be patient here. How are we looking? This guy's 60. Oh, I am eating a lavender-flavored cake with lavender-flavored tea. It's all very delicious and full of lavender flavor. Ah, the man absolutely fucking loves lavender. Look at this. Stress gain minus 5%, stress loss plus 5%. That's fantastic. For 2 years. Oh, if only we all in real life could be so enthralled by Leaf. Thank you. I'm not going to do any of these. We're going to forget about them for the time being. I reset the game, of course, when I updated, and now I'm being told about all the things the game has to offer, like faith and religions. Have you heard of faith and religions? I can declare war on him. 375 troops versus our 9,960. That's relying on Normandy coming in. He did become King of England, correct? He's not at war right now? He's not at all. I was worried that he might be fighting rebels, you know, new realm management issues that come with conquering a big country. I think he should honor his alliance, ultimately. So you know what, goddammit, let's do it. County of Clermont. Call him in. And you know what? I think this is a fine risk. Because even if he doesn't, he will. There you go. Base willingness is up by 20. He doesn't really like us. We should try and win him over a little bit. In fact, we've already made friends with the bishop. This guy's going to be a big ally. Only a 27% chance to win him over basically every year. So it's a big time investment too, don't get me wrong. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. You know what? And you know what? I think this is an alright gamble too. Because we've got more troops than him inherently. It's just if we're attacking into him, we haven't got very good troops. We haven't got many knights. Oh, sorry, we've got better troops in, but we haven't got many knights. We're going to be attacking a defender. I think we can just sit here and wait for my ally to turn up instead then, eh? Unless we can maybe bait him over. You want to come and attack my capital? A snake at court. No. I am heading for my chambers to enjoy some blessed sleep when I hear the faint rustle from a window. Probably just the wind, I think, until the wind starts to speak. Adela, open up, my darling. It is I, Robert. I push the shutters open, and lo and behold, a man has climbed up Adelaide's window. It is Prince Robert of Burgundy. By Satan, have you no shame? Gods. My God, the adulterers. Oh, what a fool. It's a shame we couldn't blackmail him with that, but that's all right. Again, I'm not really sure blackmail's quite on the cards quite yet. Maybe if the character gets desperate. These aren't set in stone, right? His bravery, his ambition might outstrip his zealot at some point, his zealousness. He might realize that, yeah, okay, I really want to get all these titles. I can get it by blackmailing people. Maybe you have to make some compromises. I don't think they're going to head over, are they? So we're just going to sit here and wait for England to come deal with them for me. Ideally. Have we got a better commander? No. So this is like a double gamble then. Amazing. New perk in the intrigue lifestyle. I think that a lot of these don't suit us. Disrupt schemes, I think I'm fine with. I'd like to swap over to wealth focus. How long until we can change focus then? Oh, this year. Yeah, I thought it was this year. Okay, that's fine. We don't have to wait too long. We'll go to wealth, and we'll maybe take golden obligations. But you know what? We could justify it by maybe saying that if it's an adulterer that we're blackmailing, you know, as penance for their sin, maybe that's fine. But fabricating false hooks on people and blackmailing that, maybe that's a bit too far. A few weeks ago, 10 children went missing from one of the towns of Vermandois. Locals sent out search parties but could not find any of the children. Many feared the calamity befell the children like being killed by wild animals. Thankfully, Gouchard Songils, one of my minor officials working in Vermandois, continued searching for everybody after everyone else gave up. His persistence paid off as he managed to track down the children. Apparently the children were kidnapped by a band of bandits who planned to sell them into slavery. The bandits have all been imprisoned and 10 children returned to their families. Everyone is praising Gouchard for his heroic actions. You are a heroic man, aren't you? Continue your good work in Vermandois, Gouchard. We gain heroic official, popular opinion +4, or we promote him to join my court. I would like that a lot because he's actually quite useful and we do need courtiers, but he's 40 gold, which I can't afford because I'm at war right now and I'm about to run out of money. Great work, thank you. You've been recognized. Oh my god, we actually did swing him over. Hey, he's sending some troops. He's sending some troops there, fella. You've joined my war, but I can't see you actually fighting these armies. Anyway, my trusted servant is on his deathbed. His death will come as a blow to many of us, and we respect the old man for his patience, humility, and wisdom, which he tried to invest to impart on us. I asked him if he's afraid of the end. End? No, the journey doesn't end here. He smiles gently. Death is another path, one we must all take. The grey rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass, and you see it. White shores and beyond. A far green country under a swift sunrise. Good God, is Picard dying? He looks at me serenely before closing his eyes. Several hours later, he passes away. We gain deathbed wisdom for 3 years. Wow. Whoa, that's amazing. Monthly lifestyle experience plus 12%. What a legendary old guy. Got some piety, some prestige there. Holy crap. I sat at the bedside for a while contemplating his words. Thank you. What a fella. You know, given that we're at war, maybe I should get a fucking marshal, eh? Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to go for it. Are we going to go for it? Hello. Okay, hold on. We get there first. Stay there. Well, we've committed now. 479 versus 374. We're going to have similar army compositions. We are winning. Holy crap. He's got a little bit of advantage. Surrounded by your retinue amid the one in battle, we spot Mayor Gerard's banner. You could be upon him in a flash. We're brave. We have to do it. Oh, my God. What the hell is happening there, huh? We surprise him utterly. Yeah, he's not the only one. An intrigue challenge against Mayor Gerard. Yes. Get him. For a few brief moments, Mayor Gerard and I pace lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Mayor Saint-Gerard of Saint-Quentin screams my opponent. Swinging... Wait, he's shouting his own name. What kind of anime shit is this? Swinging his spear furiously at and around me. We've got a hammer. It seems to be sliding in our character's hands quite weirdly. For the Lord in St. George, suffer, blasphemer. Is this guy like a good fighter? Can we fuck around like that? We can. It's never... Look, whoa. Sorry, I'm not playing the character. I was never fucking around to praise the Lord. Let me be clear on that one, kids. You must never. God is wise and his wrath is on my side. I shout my devotion in the heavens. The Gerard may tremble in fear before my faith. Let's go for it. To the floor with you. Kick him in the shin. Kicking has worked so well for us before. My form is good, with only a few small errors, and Gerard's stance is failing. We're doing well so far. I've yet to open up my opponent's guard at all. I see no way yet to claim victory. You'll never break my guard, or I'll show you how I raise a hammer. Yes. Yes, the gavel, like the judgment of God. My hammer flows around him like water, each strike chaining fluidly into the next. Amazing. My form is good with only small errors, and Gerard is a disaster. That's probably not how you say that name. I just need to clarify. Shout again. For God. My God, did we actually win? That had a low likelihood to our increased success, and yet, somehow, we've won. I bellow my devotion to God, hammer upwards in votive offering. My foe apparently thinks the prayer is going to be longer than it is, which is why he's taken totally by surprise when I switch seamlessly into a crushing thwack that almost topples him to the ground. But that's not very godly, is it? To faint with the power of God. Fine, I'm victorious. Get roasted. We can either imprison him. Now, it's a big decision, okay? We're winning the battle. He does have advantage. He's lost more troops than us, but we had a bigger army. But it is fairly even. We've only got 3 knights, he's got 6. Find your fate in God's hands. We put our faith entirely in the Lord at this point to bail us out. I say you're coming with me. We win the war instantly. Well, we don't win the war instantly, but we would gain some benefit in this battle. Probably enough to win the war instantly. I think we let him go. Play the character, goddammit. Let him go. Let's see it through. And we've won. We've won. I was good. I was right to have my faith. Look at that. Well done. We've captured Bedouin, Chancellor of Count Renard, after winning the battle. We can't begin the siege because we haven't got enough soldiers. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. I mean, I could siege this church. Doesn't seem very... okay, we're not allowed to do that. I don't think that would be very appropriate anyway. Hughes and I stalk around one another. For the Lord and St. George, another battle. To the floor with you. Always kick, always scream to God. That's the secret to victory right there. You've seen it 3 times in a row now. You can't argue with it. I'm victorious. Amazing. Go find your fate in God's hands. Free my men. How on earth are we supposed to, How on earth are we supposed to win? You haven't thought this through. He's got a single county that we can't siege. His levy is... Oh, his garrison's 550. Oh. Interesting. What do we do then? I've kind of got myself into a bit of a strange place here, haven't I? Duke Dado of Lositz has announced to the world that he and his vassals have converted to Mandaeism. I don't even know what that is, I'll be honest with you. Organized dualist faith. Traces lineage back to Adam with John the Baptist as their greatest prophet. The world consists of light of darkness, and in time all mortal souls will be judged whether or not they're worthy to return to eternal light. Wow. Okay, that seems like a pretty significant shift. Fair enough. Sure. You know, they do have some good points we can flip over. Of course, we would never. What twisted mockery of our faith is this? How dare you? I think... we could be in a weird place here, because I can't... Oh! Night falls. Oh my god, maybe we're not in a weird place after all, and I quickly fall asleep. In my dreams, I see a great light, an impenetrable heavenly light. I know not what it is or what it represents, but something about it brings me peace and happiness. Is it a sign from the heavens? Amazing. Yeah, I don't really know how we're going to get ourselves out of this war, unless England decide to actually bloody turn up. We're just going to have to keep fighting as troops, hoping that eventually... we can... capture the leader, I suppose. Hopefully that he leads his troops himself. We've got 54% war score, but of course that's going to tick down every month that we're not doing anything with it. I could try and save up. And I think I might have to. We save up some money, we hire some mercenaries. Very silly. This is very silly. I've got myself in a silly war immediately. Amazing. Right, let's drop petition liege. Thank you. Oh, you got to bear in mind again. I haven't played a huge amount of CK3 in the last year. Okay, so things are going to be a little bit rough. I'm never going to create a cadet branch. Why would I? It's because, of course, we're second in the branch, but we're going to be the head of the house soon, so we would never want to do that, right? Okay. Well, shit. I mean, I guess we just wait. We wait until we get some cash. Ah, we're officially married. Achievement unlocked until death do us part. Thank you. We are playing an Iron Man. I probably should have mentioned that. Cecilia de Normandy and you are now married. Ah, very good. Because, of course, mods work with Iron Man now, so you never have to make that choice. Your Marshal, Mayor Valoran, dared to lead my sister Jutta into carnal sin. Who is this? Kaiser Heinrich of the Holy Roman Empire. Ah. That's a fair point. No, I'm not going to piss off the Kaiser. Valoran will plead for your forgiveness publicly. He will. That's the guy I was trying to win over. That was our mayor who was our regent. But you know what? Fair enough. I can't argue with the man. Without further ado then, I think we will wrap things up here for today. I can't guarantee every episode is going to be 40 plus minutes long in the future, but we've got ourselves in a weird place. But you know what? I'm quite happy to leave it like this because it means we can explore some solutions. Trying to find... I'm up for suggestions on how in CK3, as a zealot, you can build up your coffers. Because it's so underhanded the way you have to get money from other people in this. Maybe, again, his ambition will outstrip his zealotry, and maybe we've just got to accept that. Maybe this is absolutely part of the character where he gets frustrated that we can't win wars because we haven't got enough troops, and we are constantly in debt, and we can't go on pilgrimages. Maybe that gets to him a bit more, and maybe that becomes a shift in his character that we can explore. I'm not sure. Either way, come back tomorrow. Hey, it's Crusader Kings 3 again, everyone.